if I said find the slope of a segment AB, how would we do that?
Rise over
1, -2.
Okay, you count the rise over the run. So how much is it rising?
3,
2.
Well,
2.
actually, oh, it is 3. And it's running 2.
Uh-huh.
So the slope would be 3 over 2. You guys remember the other way we found slope like a month ago or so?
I don't even remember what I had for
Okay,
breakfast.
slope formula, which we will need this for today, so Mike.
Will this be on the test?
This kind of stuff, yeah. All this. Okay, slope formula helps us find slope as well, if it's not in the picture. You guys remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, A is at -1, 2, 4, and B is at -3, 1. So if you did y minus y, it would be 4 minus 1 over -1 minus -3, which equals 3 over 2. Okay. What if I said find the length of AB, which the way you would denote that is just put AB. Find the length of segment AB. AB equals what? How would we do that?
You average 3 and 2.
No.
1.
It would have to be longer than 3, right? Because 3 is like a straight line going up 3. This line goes up 3, but it also moves over, so it should be longer than 3. Nobody remembers?
No.
I don't remember.
Okay, distance formula.
Oh, isn't it that square root?
Yes.
Square root? Oh, it's distance.
Square root.
I do distance.
Square root.
Length and distance are the same thing.
You could just use
Yes.
the
The distance from A to B is the same thing as what's the length of segment AB. All right, so this one would be x minus x. I'm just reminding you how this goes. So it would be like -1 minus -3 squared plus y minus y, 4 minus 1. And that would be like 2 squared, 3 squared, square root of 2. Okay. You guys remember all that stuff? That's not really, that's kind of old stuff. That's not really the focus of today's, but we will do a little bit of that today. Speaking of what's new today, let's talk about what's new for today. Diane.
Let's do it.
I don't like new things. Literally.
I mean, new people.
Okay, actually, I'm going to use this picture. So the new thing for today is called a mid-segment. Mid-segment. It's not too bad. Today's not too bad. So the definition of a mid-segment is it goes from one midpoint on the side of a triangle to another midpoint on another side of the triangle. Okay, so it looks kind of like that. Guess what we know? So this is called a mid-segment. Okay. If these are midpoints, we know like those are equal and those are equal, right? Okay, guess what we know about the mid-segment? There's 2 things we know. Okay, parallel to the other side of the triangle, that's one thing. Actually, I said 2 things, but if those lines are parallel, that tells me that these angles are going to be congruent. Do you know why? Corresponding angles on parallel lines are congruent. And these 2 angles are congruent. Okay, that's one thing we know, the parallel lines. And we also know, go away, that it turns out if this is like 8 long, the mid-segment is going to be like 4 long.
Oh, so it's gonna be half?
It's going to be half.
Okay.
Always.
Always and forever, if it's a mid-segment. Now, if you draw a segment up here, that's not a mid-segment. That's not going to be half, right?
Well, it's gonna be like 2.
So
Yeah,
it
it's
has to
gonna-
be smack in the middle of the
It's got to
triangle.
be right in the midpoints.
Smack in the middle.
Now, notice if I draw a midpoint down here, this is a mid-segment, right? And this is a mid-segment. So you have 3 mid-segments. turns out, this is not really part of today's, but it turns out you could prove that all four of those triangles are congruent. All four of these little triangles are congruent. Shh, that's how they figured out this is 4 and this is 8. All right. Next. Check,
How are
check.
those midpoints, dude?
Huh?
How are those midpoints? The-
Midpoint just means the middle of the whatever of the segment. So this is the midpoint of this. This is the midpoint of that. This is the midpoint of this. Midpoint just means middle. So these segments are called mid segments if they go from midpoint to midpoint.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
I feel like this is what smart people are supposed to learn.
That's you, Jaden.
So all the other lines 4 too. Does that make sense?
Huh?
It's like,
Oh no. No. So this one might be like 6, and this is
Well, yeah,
3 or whatever. No, they're not all the same as each other.
This question is weak.
Okay, number 1. You guys ready?
Yes.
no.
Large.
This, yeah, okay. Name the segment parallel to each side of the triangle. Number 1, segment JL. Do you guys see segment JL?
Yes.
It would have to be parallel to what?
ZX.
ZX, and that is a segment, so you need to put the segment symbol on top. Number 3, segment KL is parallel to
ZY.
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 Whoops.
You are so dumb.
Yeah, thank you.
Basically not all the time.
Oh, I forgot something. Let's back.
Oh,
Okay, let's back up in time. So, how do I find the slope of this line?
Rise and run.
Yeah, rise 3, run 2, same as before, right? But what if the line looks something like this, horizontal? What's the slope of that line?
0.
Okay, it is 0. The equation for the line is called y equals 1, but the slope of the line is 0. You could also call it y equals 0x plus 1. But the slope of the line, any horizontal line, is 0. Okay, but if I draw a vertical line, the equation would be like x equals 4, but what's the slope of a vertical
X
line?
equals 0.
Okay,
X equals
it's
0.
no slope or undefined slope.
So that one is no.
No, vertical lines have no slope or undefined slope. Horizontal, we call the slope 0. If you try to do like, pick 2 points on the line, what's the rise? 2, what's the run? 0. See, that's not possible. So, this book calls it undefined. Some books call it no slope. But anyway, number 5, we're supposed to find the we're supposed to find the slope of segment AB. You guys see AB in the picture. Yeah.
Undefined.
It's going straight up. If you did the slope formula, it'd be y minus y, it'd be 4 minus 1 over -4 minus -4. So it'd be like 3 over 0. That's not possible. If you plug that in the calculator, it's like error. Okay. Anyways, the slope is undefined. Now, if it was 0 over 3, 0 divided by anything is 0. But that's not possible. Number 7. We're supposed to find the slope of segment DE. Do you guys see DE in the picture?
Yes.
Okay, how can I find the slope?
Rise over run.
Well, how would you
Well,
find...
you do the, you have to tell them the distance.
No.
So then you do, so like the y minus y over x minus x.
Right, let's use the slope formula like I did up there. So, if we do y minus y over x minus x. So what are the y values for D?
1 and -2.
Right, D and E. So 1 minus -2 over, what are the x values?
-4 and 0.
Negative 4 minus 0. 1 minus negative 2 is
Basically
3. Negative 4 minus 0 is
-4.
3 over negative 4 is
Negative 3 over 4.
negative 3/4. Number 9. Find each length in the figure above. AC. So how long is it from A to C?
So you do distance formula?
Okay, you could do distance formula. There is an easier way to do this one.
4, right? Wait, no, 8.
We're going from negative 4, negative 2 to 4, negative 2. If you look at the picture, it looks kind of like that, right? Kind of look at this.
Sure.
So how could we find the length?
You
Okay.
measure it.
Since it's on the same y value, it's just like a straight line across, so we could just count like the unit. How far is it from negative 4 to positive 4? 8. So you don't have to do the distance formula on this one. It's just going to be 8 long. However, on number 11,
This one you have.
it is not a straight line, it's more diagonal. So we would need the length from B to C. So I am going to use the distance formula, which was this. Okay, so what are my x values? Negative 4 and 4. So negative 4 minus 4 squared plus, what are my y values? 4 and negative 2. Okay, negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8 squared. 64. 4 minus negative 2 is 6 squared. 36. Which makes everybody's favorite square root. Square root of 100 is 10.
Nice guess.
Oh my. Okay, let's. All right. On 15, we're supposed to find the length of x, y. Do you guys see x, y in the picture?
What about the third? So what was 11 again?
Oh, I did skip 13, didn't
Oh,
I?
yeah.
It's 10. 13. What characteristic of DE? That's the thing we just. No, maybe we didn't do that one. What characteristic of DE can be determined from the figure? Well,
Can we
okay.
just do 12?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Let's just do 12 is good.
Yeah. No, let's do.
How about you guys do 12 and I'll wait on you?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my.
Then we get to do the whole square root thingy.
Just use
Oh,
your
no.
calculator. Julie, you're so mean today.
It's because she didn't cut in line. She had to.
Yeah, I have to make it
Her,
up somehow.
her evil has to come out some way.
So wait, it's x, is it y first? Y minus y?
Yeah.
What's the formula?
For the distance formula, it doesn't really matter what comes first. X minus x squared plus y minus y squared. Square root of that.
It's minus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
So it's y and
but like, nip it.
right?
Did you say nip it?
It doesn't really matter. You have to do x minus x squared plus y minus y squared. It doesn't really matter if you do the x's or the y's first.
I'm gonna figure it out.
I messed it up.
It should come out nicely,
Nicely.
like not a square root answer
Oh, perfect.
if you do it right.
Don't
Uh-oh, I did it wrong. How do I do the square root? Oh, there it is.
You said it should come out like
No decimal or square root answer.
I know, I got something wrong.
That was better than.
I just put the word in.
Oh, I need that blank one. Cause my calculator is.
Well, your calculator should do it because it's gonna come out nice.
Oh.
You know how to do square roots on your calculator?
Yeah, I think so.
I know, I think.
I think you might have to
Yeah, I got it. close
close the square root with a parentheses on that calculator.
Immediate is a violent place.
Alright, did you guys figure it?
Yes.
What'd you get?
5.
Okay, so notice on number 11 we got BC is 10. And then on 12 we got DE is 5. So what's that tell us?
It's always high.
DE is the, what's it called?
Mid-segment.
Mid-segment.
Mine says error, so.
Well, you put some in wrong, but. So on 13 we're supposed to say DE.
What was it?
DE is a mid-segment.
Did you guys?
Hey, is 10 0? Go over from Google.
What? 10-0? No.
Oh.
We're talking about the length of something.
Guys.
So we gotta do distance formula.
You could do distance formula, but since it's straight up and down,
You can do,
Negative.
okay. If you're not sure, do distance formula.
It's a -4.
It's not changing in the x, so it's just going from -2 to 4 in the y.
-2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
You're 6.
Why do you have your fingers?
From -2 to 0 is 2.
Yeah.
From 0 to 4 is 4.
No, I was just laughing at how fast it went to writing.
Yeah. Okay, now we're actually on 15. Okay, so it says find the length of xy, which is this thing. Well, if you look at the picture, it says like this is 3 and this is 3. They're the same length, and this is equal to that. So what do I know about this guy?
This could be half.
It's the mid-segment, it's going to be half. And they also tell me in the picture this is 5.
Yeah.
So how long is this guy going to
So
be?
that's gonna be 10.
10. So that's 15. Another 10. All right. Number 17. It's got words.
Perfect.
Oh, boy!
Jane's excited about the opportunity. A city decides to install a sidewalk parallel to a row of shrubbery along the line of sight AB, line AB, where X and Y are both 35. So do you guys see AB in the picture?
yeah.
That's like the shrubbery.
Go away.
X, that line is like represents the shrubbery.
Oh,
X and Y are like the length from C to A and C to B. So they said workers place stakes 17.5 feet from C along each curb line. So why did they choose 17.5 feet?
Because that's from C to A.
Okay, it says X and Y are both 35 feet long. So that means CA is 35 feet, CB is 35 feet. Okay, workers place stakes 17.5 feet from C, from the curb. Why did they put it at 17.5 feet?
Because that's midpoint.
Because that's halfway. And if it's at the midpoint, then it's going to be parallel to the shrubbery, right? It's going to
Yeah.
be a mid-second. Okay, anyway, sit here, I'll draw the picture. So here's the corner, this is 35 feet. They place stakes at 17.5 feet, here and here. And then it says they connect it with a string, if you keep reading. They connect the stakes with the string to mark the center line of the new sidewalk. Is the string parallel to the line of sight? Are these parallel?
Yes,
Because why?
because they are.
Cause the next segment.
Because the string is a mid-segment, you know. Yes.
Yes.
Because.
Don't talk to mommy like that. Okay.
All right. Number 19 says write an expression for each measure if P, Q, and R are the midpoints. If P, Q, and R are midpoints, then what do I know?
P and Q and A and C are parallel.
Well, PQ is a what?
Mid segment.
Mid. All those three in the middle are mid segments. See if I can draw this.
They're all parallel.
Yeah, they're all going to be parallel to something. So 19 says find the length of express the length of AC, which AC is this bottom line down here. So how could I didn't draw that very well? How could I do that?
What?
Express the length of AC. So I can't solve this, but how long is this thing? How could I represent this thing?
X. 2x plus 8.
Okay, what do I know about this point right here?
Mid segment. First middle point.
Midpoint. So how could I find this total thing?
Oh, so you solve
You do
that and then you times it by two.
Or you just
Right. 2x plus 8 plus 2x plus 8. Or 2 times 2x plus 8. Okay, we can't solve it because we don't know what x is. We're just going to, well, let's simplify. What's this going to be? 2 times 2x plus 8 is?
4x plus 16.
That's what they wanted.
Perfect.
There's two more mine like that.
Should have drawn this larger. Okay, 21 says the length of AB. Okay, how would I find the length of AB? Alright,
3x times 2.
okay, 3x times 2 is 6x.
Wait, I get that. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I get it. I see, Timmy, I see.
Okay, 23, angle this time. Angle APR. PQR, I didn't write those in there. Alright, you guys see angle APR in the picture?
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yes.
Now, what else do we know about mid-segments besides they're half the length? Dang it.
They're parallel.
They're parallel. So, for example, if I know this, oh no. If this line is parallel to this line,
So 3x is on.
then, so it kind of looks like this, and here's the transversal, these are parallel, and this angle must be the same as
That angle.
corresponding angles, right? This is, no, we're looking for this one. This one down here is Y, but what about this one up here?
It's Z.
Oh, it's a Z, you're right.
It's the same as angle P.
Yeah, so these lines are also parallel, right? So these are also corresponding angles. So that would be, it's not angle P, it's angle APR, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it would be Z degrees.
That's what we're so good.
Okay, 24 is difficult.
Or, can you help us? Can we do it together?
Okay, do you guys see angle QPR in the picture?
Yeah.
Yes.
QPR is right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if this angle down here is Y, what other angle must be Y?
BPQ.
BPQ, right there. Let me put that right there. Okay, because those lines are parallel, so corresponding. Does anybody know where I'm going with this?
I think so.
What do I know about these three angles
Oh, they're
together?
gonna be 180?
Yeah, they're gonna add up to 180. So let's say we knew what Z and Y were. How would we find this angle in here?
You plus Z and Y, and then you subtract by 180.
We do 180 minus those two, right?
Yeah.
So one way you could write it is 180 minus parentheses Z plus Y. Or the other way to write it is distribute the minus Z minus Y.
Okay.
I'm sorry, do you solve it, or do you just leave it as like this thing?
You can't solve it. All of them are gonna have X's and Y's and
So it's
Z's.
2X plus 8.
I don't get number 8.
Yeah.
What characteristic of ABC can be determined by the slopes of its insides? Explain
Well,
this.
if you have a vertical line, like an undefined slope and a zero slope, what do we know about?
90 degrees.
So what kind of triangle would that be?
Oh, a right
Yeah.
triangle.
So you just put right triangle?
Well, you put triangle.
It's a right triangle.
I would say the reason is because a vertical line and a horizontal line have perpendicular,
A vertical?
are perpendicular.
Are you spell triangle again?
TRI angle.
Did you say a vertical line and a horizontal line?
Yeah.
CY CW.
Very helpful.
You say that one?
Did you guys get in any fights with the other team on Friday?
Nope.
Thursday?
No.
I
Yeah,
wish.
I think I would have been there.
That would have been entertaining.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
No.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, but
Didn't-
he's got
didn't
a
Mr.
fight with
Cloud,
the
like,
ref,
warn you, like-
actually.
Yeah.
Keep calm.
He cried 'cause
He almost cried. Yeah, he was.